See, Betty Davis supposedly said, "Getting old is not for sissies." Aging brings physical, financial, and emotional challenges for all of us. But for those who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender, growing old can present especially daunting problems. LGBT seniors have to cope with the healthcare system and with programs like Social Security and Medicaid that systematically discriminate against them. And long-term care facilities, home health care services, and senior services are often ignorant of their needs and in many cases actually hostile to them. Growing old also presents special challenges for people living with HIV. Thanks to the amazing medical breakthroughs since the late 1990s, people with HIV or AIDS now look forward to substantially longer lives and a much improved quality of life. But our long-term care system isn't prepared to meet their needs as they age. And discrimination by nursing homes, assisted living facilities, home health care services, and senior service providers persists. For 35 years, SAGE, Services and Advocacy for GLBT Elders, has been the national leader in serving and advocating for seniors who are LGBT or living with HIV. Based in New York, but with a network of affiliates throughout the U.S., SAGE has pioneered an impressive array of programs that provide social and legal services, health care, financial assistance, and companionship to LGBT seniors who often lack the support of extended families that many of us take for granted. SAGE also created the authoritative web-based resource center for LGBT and HIV senior advocates, and SAGE has achieved important victories in the fight for public policies that recognize the needs of LGBT and HIV-positive seniors. As Whitlam Walker expands our health care support and legal services to respond to growing numbers of older patients and clients, we look to SAGE for inspiration and guidance. And so it's with great pleasure that we present the 2013 Joel A. Toubin Award to Services and Advocacy for LGBT Seniors. And here to accept the award for SAGE is SAGE's Executive Director, Michael Adams.
That's the first time I've been introduced with a Betty Davis quote. So Myra promised me she wasn't going to be as witty and funny as she always is when she preceded me, but she in fact was. So I'm happy to follow up. I want to say that it's a great honor for SAGE to receive this award for our work with and on behalf of LGBT older adults, and it's also a great honor to be sharing the evening with NCTE, with whom we've worked so closely, and with Heifeld, who has really been an inspiration and a leader for all of us in the LGBT movement for many years. And as an alum of the ACLU and the work there, this is a very special evening. I also think it's appropriate that the theme of the evening is going the extra mile, because at SAGE we often talk about the fact that our LGBT elders, older members of our community, are the people who really pave the way for the opportunities that we have today, for the increasing equality that we have today, for the growing possibilities of living full and complete lives as LGBT people. And they paved the way with courage and fortitude through decades when it was really incredibly difficult, starkly difficult to be an LGBT person. And so, as people age in the LGBT community, they have earned the right to respect and dignity and support, but too often we find that's not true. We as a community have not been really very good at ensuring that there is a place of honor and support for LGBT older adults. many of whom, as we age, are struggling with severe isolation, are struggling with financial challenges, are struggling with health challenges, including HIV. And it's worth noting that thanks to a great deal of medical progress, almost 50% of people living with HIV in this country are 50 and older. So HIV is now a challenge that we face as we age as well. Far too many of our LGBT brothers and sisters are aging with HIV. These are the reasons why SAGE was created 35 years ago. And I'm really honored to have members of our team here tonight, including Aaron Tax, who's our Director of Federal Relations here in Washington, D.C., Tim Atkin, who is a board member here in D.C., and Monty Woody, who heads up our SAGE Metro D.C. affiliate. Together, we are working to really change that landscape. I think it's important to say that at the end of the day, the life experience, the day-to-day living of LGBT older adults is impacted most importantly by what happens at the local level and the local community. And here in Washington, D.C., we are so fortunate not only to have the work of SAGE Metro D.C., but to have the extraordinary leadership of Whitman Walker. It's really amazing what Whitman Walker is doing, not only with its legal services program in general, but in particular, its increased attention to the needs of LGBT older adults. And I want to say on behalf of SAGE that we are so appreciative of that leadership. We're so grateful for that modeling, and we hope that other communities across the country will follow in Whitman Walker's footsteps. In closing, I want to note that I don't think it's an accident that next month the Supreme Court will issue 2 decisions on marriage equality for same-sex couples. And the person who was leading the charge that we believe will result in the striking down of the Defense of Marriage Act is Edie Windsor, an 83-year-old lesbian who has fought the battle throughout her life, from her leadership at IBM in the 1960s when it was impossible to be a woman there, never mind to be a lesbian, to her determination to overturn discrimination against relationships and to guarantee equality for same-sex couples. And when we look at Edie and the work that she is doing, we see Edie as a symbol for where we're going, which is to recognize the heart and soul of our community, which comes from our elders, which comes from our leaders, which comes from our sages. And so I want to thank you again on behalf of SAGE for this great honor, and I want to thank Whitman Walker and all of you for our shared commitment to ensure that LGBT older adults, all of them, all of us, have the place of honor and dignity and support that we